finding, funding, structuring deals is not what you need more of. What you need more of is clear guidance on the habits and traits that you need to develop in order to become a successful property investor and property developer. So in this video here, I'm going to share with you 7 things that the really highly successful investors and developers do that I've noticed over the last 19 years. I'm going to share them with you in the video, recognize the ones that you are doing and the ones that you aren't doing, and implement them, and hopefully you're going to be able to break through to the next level and beyond. In the world of property, there's a lot of trainers, including myself by the way, who talk a lot about properties, how to find deals, how to fund deals, how to structure deals, working with contractors, refinancing, tax, business structure, all of that. Really good stuff by the way, which you ought to know about. But the real battle, in my experience of having been doing this for the best part of 19 years now and done over 3,000 business growth consultations, the real battle isn't about the mechanics of how do things work. The real battle is about mindset. So I think once you get the mindset right, and you never kind of get it right, you're always working on it, you're always improving. We're all in the same boat to some extent with that. But once you're on track, it's more likely you're going to be successful. And in this video, I'm going to cover some of the kind of key areas that I see the really successful property investors focusing on, which helps them to achieve the things and the goals and the objectives and the aims and ambitions and the aspirations that they're looking to achieve. And the hope that you're going to benefit from some of these skills. You'll probably recognize some of the things that you're doing here. 1 or 2 at least will be new to you. If they are new to you, put it in the comments box, and if you want to ask a further question, do so. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button so you can get all the new fresh content, because that's important. I want to give you as much good stuff as I can, and for some of that you've got to guide me in terms of posting the comments, tell me what kind of stuff you want to know, because I can't read your mind, believe it or not. So number 1, I promise you one day you are going to get used to my awful handwriting, but this says clarity over priorities. So the really successful property developers, investors are very, very clear on their priorities. And there's 2 sets of priorities. The first one is, where are we going overall? So let's call that their vision and some point in the future. And the second one is, what am I doing today to drive towards that particular vision? So it's basically, in a nutshell, their priorities are linked to their goals. Because there's no point doing anything else. As a business owner, as a property investor, property developer, your job is to make sure you're focusing on and driving towards your goals. That's extremely important, because I've got to break it to you, by the way. If you don't work towards your goals, you're not going to achieve them. Now, that might be a realization to you. I hope it isn't, by the way. But to achieve your goals, you've got to work towards them, and you'll be ruthlessly clear every single day on your priorities. So different people have different things that they do in the morning or during the day called their daily rituals. One of them for you could be every single day list out the 3 key tasks that you're going to do. It doesn't have to be 3, by the way. It could be 5, could be 1, could be 2, but I usually work on 3 key tasks you're going to do in that day to work towards your goals. End of day, review, reflect, be grateful for something that you've done, give yourself a pat on the back, be positive about it, and review what's happened, and then line up the day or the task for the next day, so that way you're always driving towards your goals. Of course, at some point in the year or quarter or whenever you do it, or even the month, I'd say do it quarterly. Set your goals and objectives, and they're going to change around from time to time because your priorities are going to change, and then work towards your goals by having very clear priorities. Number 2, the successful people are, again, ruthlessly protective over their time. we all have the same amount of time. I know there's a lot of work that goes on in terms of time management. It's an evergreen topic. There's a lot of people who talk about it to say how you can kind of manage time. My personal take is we can't manage time, time ticks. We can only manage ourselves. So it's not time management per se, it's self-management. I don't want to get into the semantics, but self-management really comes through being ruthlessly protective over your time. So who do you meet with? Who do you talk with? When do you check your emails? What things do you work on? When do you work on them? I'll just quickly kind of share a very quick anecdote with you. Sometimes some of my friends and family members will call me. I don't answer the phone, and then I might call them back, let's say in an hour's time, and they say, I called you an hour ago. I said, yeah, I was sat at home watching a movie. Well, why didn't you answer the phone? Because I was watching a movie, didn't answer the phone. Yeah, but if your phone rings, you should answer it. This is what they say to me. The phone is there as the slave. I'm the master, and the phone serves me. So if I decide that I want to answer the phone, I'll pick it up. If I decide I don't want to answer the phone, I don't pick it up. Just because my phone's ringing, it doesn't mean I have to answer it. And I know there's a lot of people out there, by the way, who struggle with that concept, because the minute the first ring happened, pick up the phone, somebody's calling. Well, it depends on what you're doing, and it depends what your priorities are. So sometimes I want to answer the phone in the daytime because I've got work to do, I've got deadlines to do, I've got priorities I'm working on, and then in the afternoon, late afternoon or evening, I'll call everybody back. So my rule is, where possible, I always call back people on the same day. If I can't do the same day, most definitely 24 hours, or within 24 hours. Sometimes that might slip, by the way, because we're all human beings, but I try my best to call the majority, if not all people, back within 24 hours. But that's just one small example for you, and you need to make sure you protect your time, because once it's gone, it's gone. It doesn't come back. This is a massive one. The really successful people impose high levels of self-discipline. Yes, you heard that word correct. Impose. So they are exceptionally disciplined, and they set their own rules and parameters of how they're going to remain disciplined. Because if you're anything like me, you'll come into work one day and you'll probably put things off, or you'll say, I'll do them later, or I'll do them in the afternoon. And sometimes there's been a task there that you've had there, let's say for 2 weeks, because it's not that urgent or important, but it needs doing. Once you've done it, you realize, I don't know why I put that off for 2 weeks. It only took me 15 minutes. I should have done it. Well, the highly disciplined people don't put things off. As an example, they work on things that they have to work on. Now, if it's not urgent, it's not important, and they don't have to do it, they delegate it to somebody else, which I'm going to come on to in a second. But they are exceptionally disciplined, and they impose those strict rules on them in terms of access to people, who they meet with, when they meet with them, why they're meeting with them. And you ought to be doing the same if you want to follow the traits of the successful people. This is a biggie. So these people, generally speaking, only ever work on the skills that they have. So if they're really good at one or two or three things, they only do those one or two or three things. Everything else they delegate. I think it was Sir John Harvey Jones, the chairman of, or former chairman of ICI. He said, good managers should only do what only they can do. Everything else, delegate. So these people, if they're good at one, two, or three things, they'll only ever do those one, two, or three things. Everything else they delegate. So for example, they might not be good at finance, so they're not going to try and do the bookkeeping themselves. They'll delegate it to a bookkeeper. They might not be very organized, so they'll have a PA, and they'll delegate tasks and their diary to their PA. They might not be very good at contracts, so they'll have a solicitor. Rather than trying to hash something up themselves, they go to the people who are really good at what they do, let them do that and pay for it, and they only work on the things that they are really good at. Because if you're going to maximize your income, maximize your wealth, maximize your opportunities, then you should only ever be working on the things you're good at. Everything else, pass it on to somebody else. Let them do it, because they are good at that. So why not give things to people that they're good at, and you work on things that you're good at? They measure and manage everything in a very strict and ruthless manner. So this is measuring and managing themselves, measuring and managing their business, measuring and managing their opportunities, measuring and managing their team, their priorities, their property deals. Every single thing is tracked. They have numbers, KPIs, income generating tasks, for example, which would fit with their goals and priorities, key result areas, which again would fit with their goals and priorities. Everything is tracked to the nth degree. So then they know exactly what's going on. If you don't do anything else, at least track the results of your business. And there are some other numbers that you can track apart from the obvious ones, which is income, profit, number of properties, rent yield, return on investment. Those are the kind of bog standard numbers. And I will make a video for you where I'm going to cover some of the other numbers which most people don't track, which will help you gain financial freedom in the long run. Every single one of these people has a very strong power team. Now, of course, the power team is there to do work for you. This could be your solicitor, accountant, mortgage broker, advisor, bank manager, planning consultant, architect, building contractor, so on and so forth. So they are good at what they do and they help these people. But there's more than that. There's 4 other things that the power team offers you, which is going to help you to accelerate and really speed up your growth. Number 1 is they are supportive and they support you to be better. Number 2, they challenge you and they push you outside your comfort zone so you can achieve bigger and better things. They hold you accountable to make sure you do what you said you would do. And number 4, they help you reinforce your ideas. Because sometimes you don't need new ideas. You've got plenty of ideas, by the way. But you need to go to an expert, or you go to an expert, run your idea past them, and they say, yep, you're on the right path here. Maybe think about A, B, C, D, E possibly, or just think about 1 or 2 things differently, but you're on the right path, carry on, pat on the back, off you go. And we all need that reinforcement and reminder that we're on the right path. So those are 4 things that your power team should be offering you above and beyond just obviously doing certain things and work for you. And the last one is rules. So these people have strict rules about everything that they do. They have certain non-negotiables, whether it's about doing property deals, whether it's about going to a particular area, size of deal, to the types of people they're going to work with. Everything has rules and they stick to those rules. And as the old saying goes, rules are for the obedience of fools and guidance of wise men, or I would say wise people. So you use those rules wisely. I'm not going to tell you what rules to set or to choose, but you choose certain rules that you're going to live and adhere to, and then stick to them and do not break them, because they are going to be your guiding principles and they're going to help you move forward. And of course, those rules also help you determine and dictate who to work with, who not to work with, what property deal to do, what property deal not to do. So once you've got that clarity, it really is going to be a game changer. So these 7 traits, or habits or guidelines are extremely important. If you're already implementing these, well done, fantastic. Share your results in the comments below. If you're not, have a think about it. If you've got any questions, again, comments below. If you're new to this channel, click the subscribe button so I can share more content with you, and share with me what you think. I hope you're going to implement some of these, and I'm definite and I'm sure it's going to help you to improve your life and your property business.